Good morning. Welcome to morning practice with myself. My name is Olivia. It's lovely to have you with us here today on Tuesday. Oh my. Tuesday, April 16th. I'm just noticing something across the street. It's an effect of the light, but it's quite remarkable. Not really sure how it's being done, but there's some kind of reflection happening that's creating a really unusual effect. And I only, of course, just noticed it now. Um, it's so funny because what I wanted to focus on today was obstacles. And, we're in the run up to this Jupiter Uranus conjunction on Saturday. Which we've been talking about, and in it sort of as a culmination point of a lot of the energy that we experienced since the vernal equinox, since Ostara, and the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse, and now we're moving towards this like very powerful conjunction. And not that we're already in this energy. It's exact on Saturday, but very much the energy of transformation and positive initiatory change for the benefit of all people. And what may come with this energy is quantum jumps, leaping forward into new paradigms of thought and new ways of being. But we also have, other energies working with this, the influence of Chiron and the alternative path, and finding the sense of the sovereign self through the examination of our wounding, the examination of the wounding in the sense of self in particular, and what that means for each of us, as well as this kind of disruption energy and disturbance energy and obstacle energy that we're getting as well, things just not going to plan, unexpected things happening to prevent things going in the way that we had intended, or being redirected or diverted in some way. And that is real. I've been journaling a lot about the last few weeks myself personally, and just kind of examining how those things that in the moment seem very much like obstacles or occurrences that disrupt the normal flow have actually been enormously beneficial in a multiplicity of ways. Sometimes it's that it has afforded an unexpected meeting, an unexpected other occurrence that couldn't have happened without the disruption. And there's the huge benefit there, or just an appreciation of the quality of a moment in passing, that when we're in our normal state of flow isn't the case. So it's important to, look at these disruptions not always as obstacles. And the word obstacle is so interesting. Talking a lot about the Hindu deity Ganesh yesterday with a friend, and I think Ganesh comes along, and we often intone and call in Ganesh when we are dealing with a lot of obstacles. But perhaps, we think of him as the Lord of the remover of obstacles, but perhaps he places those obstacles there, if you're willing to go with me on this, because they are gifts. And I think for myself personally, and as I tend to find the personal experience can have a resonance with the collective experience, the obstacles and how I react to them are so revelatory, or reveal in my reactions, either the wounding I need to work on or how much I have worked on wounding. And maybe 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 10 years ago, I would not have reacted to the obstacle in the same way. And now it's more like, oh, look at this obstacle, I'm going to dance with it and see where this takes me instead. And that can be quite fun. Also, just to have that sense of appreciation that you have understood certain things about yourself through your navigation of what appears to be disruption or obstacle, that those have actually been great gifts. And to learn how much we have grown from our own journeys that have tended to be the richest when they are the most obstacle filled, if you like. So today, I'm just going to really dedicate to the beauty of disruption and the beauty of the obstacle. And I put it together some today's playlist, especially for that energy and for Ganesh, and just really to call in and be present with what we may have previously seen as detrimental or uh, difficult upheaval as actually being transformational in the most positive way and bringing us into new paradigms that we could not have imagined in any other situation. And perhaps it's the obstacle that allows us to do that. Perhaps it's the disruption that reveals the new way of being. That definitely happened to me on a number of occasions during this past period. So let's drop into our hearts and meditate on how the heart energy welcomes whatever is coming and it's open. So let's find a nice tall seat. Let your tailbone really ground into the earth as if a root was shooting down from the tip of your tailbone deep into the earth. And all the points of contact with the ground feel solid, connected. Just allow yourself to find your seat. Make sure it's a comfortable seat. Does your lower spine feel supported? Does your lower spine feel compressed? Take a moment to just check in. And let yourself feel. And as you notice any thoughts or distractions of the mental realm that might be trying to get your attention, you can just bow and thank them and step away, just turning the volume down on the mental realm and bringing your attention to the internal space as you sit feeling grounded, connected. Your body is bright, aware, and alert in this moment. Breathing in and out normally. And just feel the quality of the breath as it expands and contracts. through the internal space, through the heart space. And notice if there's almost a quality of I want to say pleasantness. There's something very nourishing about connecting and sitting quietly in this moment together. Allow yourself to feel the nourishment of quietude, stillness, whatever noise or ambient sound may be occurring in your environment. It's almost welcome. It's like the music in the background. And if you would like to bring your hands to a position of reverence in relationship to the heart space, you can find Anjali Mudra, prayer position, one hand over top the other, or just keep your hands where they are in your lap and bring your internal focus to the heart space. Let's take a moment to really feel the warmth of the heart. You feel the warmth of the hands holding the heart. You may just sense that inner fire, that inner warmth. As you inhale and exhale, feeling the expansion and contraction in the heart space. And maybe noticing how this feeling of stillness brings a quality of peacefulness and relaxation, awareness, and pleasure that allows the heart to feel ease, to expand, to open, just exploring what that might feel like for you. And feeling that inner light in your heart as our hearts open together. That inner light growing, glowing, your inner luminosity shining. Let it fill your heart space with a kind of radiance of joy. Feel the power of your radiance here, the beauty of your unique luminosity, holding the heart. And if there is a person, place, situation in the world that you would like to offer and dedicate this beautiful radiance and luminosity, any spiritual intention, know that you can direct your heart light and it will arrive at any distance, at any length. And let yourself give whatever gift you would like to give to whomever or wherever needs that you want to bestow. Imagine all of these beautiful threads of light emanating from our hearts, crisscrossing the planet like a woven tapestry of golden threads. We're holding the whole planet in this wonderful net of illuminated heart light. And allow yourself to just experience the pleasure of that feeling. And we'll take a few moments in silence together. Letting the breath start to deepen. Feeling the muscles around the eye sockets just relax a little bit. Keeping the eyes closed for a moment. Maybe dropping the chin towards the chest. And let's take 3 ohms to begin together. And let the first ohm just be the quality of quietness inside your heart. And let your second ohm be your offering wherever, whomever. And let the third ohm be the joy of connecting with each other with our voices. So inhaling. You can slowly let the eyes blink open, and we will do some very grounding breath work. Or oftentimes, when obstacles or disruptions happen, it can be a reflex action to sort of move more quickly to adjust for the disruption or obstacle, or to kind of quickly rearrange things. And sometimes actually the better decision is to stop and slow down, and to slow the breath, and to draw in and say, I'm going to just take a moment to re-observe and reassess. So let's take a nice even breath. We'll inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhaling for 4, and then holding again for 4. If holding between the inhale and exhale for 4 feels too long, just adjust it to what feels right for you. But I'm going to count us through on the 4. So inhaling, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhaling, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhaling, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, inhaling, hold, exhaling, hold, inhale, hold, exhaling, hold, inhaling, hold, exhaling, hold. Take another 2 or 3 rounds on your own, allowing yourself to feel the steadiness and expansion of the breath, the evenness of each part of the breath, spaces between inhale and exhale. Period. At ease. Slowly beginning to let the breath return to normal, and we'll go over to the mat and meet there. If you're not already on your mat, you may well be. Blocks are useful for practice. We can completely practice without blocks. They're not necessary, but they are really helpful. And blankets can be great to have underneath the knees for anything that might feel like it's not comfortable when you're having your weight on your knees. And see you over on the mat. If you're there, you can have a sip of water, anything that might feel good. Roll out your legs, crossing and recrossing if needed. Oh, I'm a little stiff after sitting. So because I'm a little stiff, let's just stretch our legs a little bit in front of us. And wait. And then maybe bringing the legs wide, and then just taking some nice torso rolls to the right or to the left. And some torso rolls to the right. I like to do this with the wide-legged straddle because it accesses a lot of those muscles around the hips. Just bringing some fluid there, especially after we've been sitting still early in the morning, and just bringing some fluid to the joints so it's not feeling quite so, I want to say, sticky. But this is really just to bring some movement, and you can allow your torso to get involved. It's always good to have a bit of fluidity in the morning after sitting still. And then we'll just come back to a comfortable seat, drawing the knees in. I'm going to sit up on a block again. You can sit up on a blanket too, or a bolster if you have one. And let's do some gratitude. So breathing our arms overhead, reaching to the earth, to the sky, maybe looking up, and then drawing the hands to the heart center and offering gratitude and appreciation and love for this body, this heart, this physical vessel, our instrument of consciousness through which we navigate the world, and the obstacles and gifts that we are given, and how we physically interact with them, how we emotionally interact with them. It's all generated from this sentient intelligence of our sensory vessel. And this body that keeps us alive and vibrant and emanating our beautiful light. Such a gift. Thank you, thank you. And inhaling, we'll bring the arms overhead, hands to prayer, prayer comes to heart. And we'll just offer real sincere love and gratitude for every single being on the planet, every person, all, each one, individual, unique. You are amazing exactly as you are. What you offer, what you're here to do, what you're here to give is essential. There is no one like you. So grateful for everything that you are bringing on your path. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Inhaling, arms come overhead, hands come to prayer, prayer comes to heart. Offering deep reverence and gratitude for this planet, this earth upon which we navigate and interact with the earth itself, her beautiful nature, her incredible majesty, all the life force that she gives us and sustains us. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Earth, thank you. Really, let's just take a moment to touch down to the earth with our fingertips on either side of our hips and really feel that connection. We are connected, we are part of the earth. As if from the tips of your fingers you could feel little tendrils of energy, like roots going deep into the earth. We are interconnected beings, part of the same energetic field, part of the same magnetic field. This earth, this planet, so wonderful. So we'll take the block out from underneath our hips and just come to standing. You can put the blocks at the top of your mat because you're probably going to need them there. And let's come up to standing here and we're going to just hold the hands on the hips and take some hip rolls to the right, to the left, to the left. This is hip rolls to the left. And just really allow the bowl of the pelvis to feel free. And then you can take some to the right. Really, again, we're bringing just fluidity to the joints, especially around the hips, the bowl of the pelvis. Just reversing the direction when it feels good. And again. And then we'll just come to the top of our mat in Tadasana, facing one side of the mat, and find your feet here. Just let the feet press into the earth. Let the palms be open. The shoulders drop. Feel the length of your neck. Just feel yourself connected to the planet as you stand. And you might just lean slightly forward into the front part of the foot, and you might lean slightly backward, over to the right, over to the left. And just find your center here. We want to just center ourselves. Then inhaling, we'll reach our arms overhead. And then bringing the prayer to our heart, we'll allow ourselves to come into a nice, generous forward fold.
letting the knees bend, letting the torso rest on the knees. Just giving yourself a few breaths in this forward fold. And allow your voice to make ums and ahs and ohs, opening your throat chakra. Ah. Ah. Feel the vibration in your throat. And on your next inhale, we'll reach the crown of the head forward, pressing into the back of the legs, giving the spine a really nice straight right angle between the legs and the spine. Feeling that length and just having the blocks underneath your hands here for ease and support. And you might just focus your awareness in your hip bones, your sit bones, pressing them back. And bringing the body down. We'll press your hands into the mat and we'll step our right foot back, bringing our right knee down. And just allow ourselves to a little rocking back and forth here, referred to by a former teacher of mine called as romancing the hips. So I'll romance the hips a little bit here. I think there's going to be a hip day for me. And then this really allowing to drop into that hip. And then pushing into the foot, come out of the hip, and more that you're pushing into your front foot. And then forward, dropping into the hip. And pushing into the foot. And then find a place in between where you're equally letting your hips drop and pushing into the foot, reaching the arms up. A nice low lunge here. Feel that low lunge. Engaging the right glute a little bit, just to give that pelvic bowl some support. And then you're going to frame your front foot and just rock back into a half split. Inhaling to lengthen the spine and exhaling to fold over the leg. Rebend that front knee and just bring the knee back to the tabletop. And we'll lift the tail, lift the chest, curl the tail, drop the head, push up between the space between the shoulder blades. And then lifting. And then we'll bring the right foot forward. And again, let's just romance the hips on this side. Letting the hips drop and then pulling out and pressing in, pulling out, and just allowing there to again to be some fluidity here. And then really we'll do some intentionally really drop into the hip. And then pressing into the front foot, really come out. And then really drop in. And then find the balance between the two as you raise your arms overhead into a bow line. Reaching up. And then framing that front foot with your hands. We'll just straighten the front leg into a half split. Inhaling to lengthen the spine and exhaling, curling over the leg. Inhaling, lengthen the spine, and exhaling, curling over the leg. And we'll step that right foot back. Again, we're in tabletop. We'll take how cat, cow, and cat. And then pressing into your hands, you're gonna just allow the hips to come forward and drop towards the mat, bringing the heart through the shoulders. And then exhaling, pressing into your hands, drawing the hips back, almost like you're going to child's pose. But as soon as you get close, begin your inhale and come forward, letting the hips drop, pressing into the hands, reaching the exhaling. Inhaling, pressing forward, exhaling, pressing back. And then pressing into our hands and curling the toes under. We'll lift the hips and take a downward dog, treading the feet right and left. We'll lift up the left leg, bring it between the hands into a runner's lunge, and just allow yourself to find the runner's lunge, activating the back leg, really pressing into the energy, almost like you were lifting the top of your thigh up towards the ceiling and allowing the heart center to move, to extend forward. And then you're going to slowly rock back, keeping your back heel lifted. If you would like to turn your back heel down and just do a full pyramid, that feels nice. Just allowing yourself to fold over your leg here. And then we'll spin up on the back ball of the foot again. Actually, let's spin the heel down as if we are in pyramid. And from pyramid, we'll rise into a warrior one. So facing the left side of the mat with your left foot forward. Arms are overhead. If it feels wobbly here, just bring some extra, you can widen this distance between your feet and you're really pressing into that front leg and straightening the back leg. We're gonna clasp our hands at the base of our spine and look up. And then we'll bow down over that front leg, coming into a humble warrior. Let's release the hands by the foot and step back to a plank position. You can do a tabletop here if that's preferable. And then we'll come down to the ground, pressing the hands next to the hips, pressing the hips into the ground, lifting the feet, lifting the shoulders, lifting the head and the hands into Salabhasana, locust pose. And then release. Pressing in, your hands will come onto your shoulders. You can either press up to a tabletop or press up to a plank and back to downward dog. And let's take a moment here just to feel downward dog, extending the tailbone up, bending into the knees. And then we'll bring the right foot forward between the hands, extending the chest. And really finding your runner's lunge here, activating that back leg, pressing the back thigh up towards the ceiling, bringing the heart center through the shoulder girdle. And then as you're ready, you can either drop your back heel at an angle or keep your back heel lifted, or a forward fold over the leg, a modified pyramid or a pyramid. And let's just stay here for a few breaths, feeling how that plays out on your hip. Feeling the forward fold, allowing the spine to just drape. Amazing. Now we're going to come up into a warrior one. So you're going to definitely spin your back heel down. Your back foot is going to be at an angle. And if you need a extra space between the feet to give you more stability, create some more space and come up into your warrior one. Reaching up. And then we'll take, again, the clasp at the base of the spine, lift the heart, and we'll bend over that front knee to a humble warrior. Feeling that in the hips. And then you can allow your hands to come either side of the foot, stepping back into a plank, feeling the length of the plank, and then coming down to the earth. Again, you can bring your hands beside your hips, flat on the ground, and begin to press the hip points into the ground as the feet lift, the head, the shoulders, and the hands. Just feeling the back body activating, feeling the strength here, keeping the back of the neck long. And then coming down. And we'll press back up. We're going to curl our toes. We'll either come through tabletop or plank into your downward dog. Taking a moment in downward dog to lift the tail, feeling the length, bending into the knees to really lift that tail up, and then pressing the heels down. Externally, rotating the upper arms outward, pressing your hands into the mat. Oh, allowing yourself to feel the pleasure of the stretch, the expansion of the stretch. Then we're gonna inhale our right foot up, and we're gonna bring the right knee right behind the right hand and allow the hip to come down to the earth. Now, if your hip is not coming down to the earth, you can take a blanket and put it under your hip for support. You really just want to be able to allow the hip to relax into support here. So take the support that you need. You can look over the left shoulder and check that your back leg is straight. And pressing into your hands, just finding a little back bend here. You reach the heart upward. And then come into your fold, folding over the front leg. If this is uncomfortable for your knees in any way, you're going to take a figure 4 on your back with your right ankle hooked on your left knee, drawing your left knee toward you. If you're feeling this in your hips, that is normal. A little bit of hip stretch. Allowing yourself to really drop in with the feet in. Letting yourself completely relax over that front leg. You bring your awareness to your hips, noticing anything that might be holding on, and just very gently encouraging it to let go and release. Nothing to hold on to. And we'll press into our hands, lifting the chest again. We'll curl that back foot under and press up first to your downward dog, and then you can actually lift that right leg. And if you want, open the right hip so that you have a nice stretch for the front of the hip here. Scorpion dog. It is sometimes called. And then lifting that leg and bringing it back to your downward dog. And we'll take the left leg up and the left foot will come behind the left hand. And it's right here that if you wanted to take a blanket, if your hip isn't coming to the ground, take a blanket here. Let your hip just fold into the blanket. Take whatever support is needed. And again, we'll look over our right shoulder and my right foot needs adjusting. Just make sure your leg is straight behind you and then pressing up, feeling the lift from the chest as you press up. And then allowing yourself to fold over that front leg. Folding into your pigeon pose. And yeah, let's just allow that to release. Allow your body to release. Again, any knee pain whatsoever, you'll be taking figure 4 on your back, left ankle hooking on the right knee and drawing the right knee towards you. Breathing here, allowing anything that might be tight or holding on to let go. Noticing how your jaw is doing, how the jaw feels. It's really focus, attention, the tightness of the hips. And then we'll press up into our hands, reaching the chin. And then you're going to rock forward, curling that back toe under and stepping back to a downward dog briefly. And then you can lift that left leg and open the hip into a scorpion dog. Just allowing that hip to open up, really pressing back. Keeping both the shoulders turned down towards the mat though. You want arms straight, shoulders facing the mat. And then you can place that foot down next to the other foot. Just take a moment to feel your downward dog here, bending into the knees and coming forward, back to the top of the mat, into a forward fold. And then rising up to stand with your arms overhead. Hands come to heart and with your thumbs rest on your sternum. Connect again to your heart energy. Does it feel different? Has it changed in quality since you made your dedication or offering? Noticing. And we'll step out to a wide leg. So you're facing the wrong side of the mat. Space between your legs, your feet are parallel, your hands are on your hips. Lifting the heart to the ceiling and then coming into a wide leg forward fold. Prasarita Padottanasana. Feeling the back of the hips here, stretching as well as the back of the legs as your hip points press upward. Yeah, let's all take a nice and ah no together. Oh, and just notice if the vibration of your voice lets the body relax just a little bit more. then we'll place our hands underneath our shoulders, extending the spine forward, bringing the heels in, bringing the heels, feet, and coming down into your yoga squat malasana, just allowing the hips to drop here. Feeling the length of the spine from the tip of the tailbone to the crown of the head. Almost like there was a weight on the bottom of your spine. Holding, that weight, just holding at the tailbone. And your crown is lifting towards the ceiling. Like you're anchored, but rising up. And then we're just gonna bring our hands behind us and allow the pelvis to come fully to the mat. We'll come back into our wide leg straddle. We'll forward fold here. It can be very useful to have a block to place under your head to let the forehead rest. Wherever you are forward folding, you want to have a nice resting posture, feeling the ease and expansion of the fold, letting the head rest, letting any noise just be carried out through the third eye and clear beam of light deep into the earth below. And we'll press into our hands and up. Hands come underneath the knees, bringing the knees in together, and we'll turn around and roll onto our backs. Having the blocks nearby in case we decide to use them. So you're going to find yourself on your mat with your knees pointing upwards. I'm going to bring my right foot up and almost just extend from the base of your leg, almost like you can feel right into the hip on the right side. You feel the right hip reaching up through the foot, and then bring that right ankle to the left knee, and just not using your hands, but just using the force of your leg to push that knee away, the right knee, as your left knee stays exactly where it is. Then you're going to let everything drop to the left, just as it is. And you will take your left hand to your right knee and push that away as you gaze over the right arm. And you can let that go. We'll come back up to center. We'll release that leg. And then again, let's just lift the left leg as if we were reaching right from the base of the hip, right from this bowl of the pelvis. That is where the extension begins from. And your leg is reaching forward. I know I'm going to move these away. And bringing that left ankle to the right knee. And again, leaving your hands to your side, just using your muscular ability to pull or push your left knee in away from you. Using the leverage of your right knee to get a stretch in the hip. And then you can release that and let the whole thing just come exactly as it is to the right. Your left knee is still pointing up, and you'll take your right hand and press that into the left knee as you gaze out over your left arm, finding this twist and stretch in the hip. And then back down. Feet will come back to neutral. We'll just take one very sweet rolling up to bridge to reset the hips. So just bringing the spine up vertebrae by vertebrae, feeling the chest lift, feeling the extension along the back of the neck, enjoy the sensation, enjoy that pressing up, enjoy the expansion. Feel the stretch between the shoulders, and then you can bring that down. Let's come to happy baby, bringing both feet up, holding either the inside or outside of the legs, or feet, I mean, inside or outside of the feet. It's up to you. Really allowing yourself to deeply bend into those knees, getting into the hips. If you want to extend one leg or the other or both, you do that here. And as you're here, if you are extending the legs, really pressing into the heels. So again, you're feeling the stretch from the origination of the hip right up through the heel. And we'll bring those together, holding the knees, bringing the forehead up, and then releasing onto the ground for a brief resting posture. Letting the hips relax, letting the bowl of the pelvic relax. Everything is released as you rest here. And slowly letting your awareness drift back to organizing the energy of the body back toward movement, finding yourself rolling to one side, and pressing up to your seat. And your hands can hold the heart, be in Anjali Mudra, or just resting in the lap, finding the length in the spine, relaxation of the posture, the ease, the expansion. And you find a sense of pleasure just in sitting and holding the heart, whether it's with your awareness or your hands or both. Feel that energy of your heart space. And we'll take a nice inhale to Om together, really imbuing your own, the quality of peacefulness that you want to embody in this moment. Inhaling. Letting that head drop, the hands drop. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. It's such a pleasure as always. And yeah, let's invite those obstacles in and those disruptions and all the things that deviate our path, that make us have to reroute, that make us have to reimagine what our possibilities are and create beautiful new solutions, beautiful new ideas, learn amazing new things about how we have an expansion of reaction to the things that come into our worlds. Life is such a gift. Thank you so much for sharing with me. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Wishing